spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life removing pain. Lord, let my words heal a heart that hurts. I want to spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life mending broken people.
Hello and welcome to 3ABN Today. My name is C.A. Murray, and allow me once again to thank you for sharing just a little of your no doubt busy day with us. To thank you for your love, your prayers, your support of 3 Angels Broadcasting Network, because we realize we could not do what we are called to do without your support, without your prayers, and without your partnership. So when we say that, it's not just something that comes from our mouths, it comes from our hearts. We do thank you for partnering with us. I'm excited today because I'm in the presence of 4 pretty cool guys, and I almost feel a little overdressed, but these are really, really neat guys. And the ministry we're going to talk about today, and it is a ministry, is something that is unique. I would say it is a niche ministry. It is something whose time has come. It is something that can be of benefit to the persons involved and to the community at large and to the church and to the cause of Christ. So we've got a really, really good program. I want you to draw close and listen good, because you're going to hear some stuff today that may help you and that may, dare I say, affect the rest of your life here on earth and help towards the coming of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This is really neat stuff. I am awash in titles here. I got CEOs to the left and CEOs to the right. We got founders, we got ministries. Let's start with Jeff Tatarchuk. Jeff, good to have you here, man.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Jeff is the co-founder of Fruition Lab. Even the name is cool, and we're going to talk about that, what that is, what it seeks to do, what it is doing, and what the Lord is blessing it to do. Close on his heels, co-founder Taylor Paris. Taylor, good to have you here, man.
Thank you.
He is a co-founder of Fruition Lab. Then we've got some mentees. Can I say mentees? If you guys are the mentors, then these are the mentees. This looking like little kid here is not a little kid. This is Seth Hill. Seth, he is the founder and CEO, that young carrying the title CEO, of Sway, S-W-A-Y-Y, Sway. We need to find out what Sway is all about. And last but not least, Mr. Michael Moss, founder of Pain for Purpose.
Absolutely.
We got to know what that's all about.
It's coming soon.
Yeah. You'll find these guys are pretty sharp, too. I found that about all 4 of them. They are pretty sharp. They're not slack in any good thing. And really want you to pay attention to this particular program, because we're going to talk about entrepreneurship and their part in this. This is really good stuff. But I want to get some, before we go to our music, I want to get some history on all of you. Jeff, where are you from?
Originally from San Bernardino, California.
Grew up in an Adventist home?
I did. Good Christian home, great parents.
Now, your beginning, when you started out, it was to go into ministry, and you actually did evangelism for a while.
Yep, I was a conference evangelist for many years, went to Amazing Facts back in 2004, did Bible work, and yeah, decided I wanted to use enterprise as my means of reaching the world.
And got as far as the seminary, and the Lord said, I got something else for you to do,
Yes,
which is in its own way ministry.
That's right.
Just didn't want you in the pulpit.
That's right.
Yeah. Got something else for you to do.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you picked up a friend. Taylor, you guys met undergrad, correct?
Yeah, we met at Southern.
Yeah. I keep saying, this guy's got my voice, you know. I used to pray for that voice. Wanted that voice. Give me that voice. Love that voice. Where are you from, Taylor?
I live in Orlando, Florida.
Born in Orlando?
No, I grew up in Tennessee, Nashville area.
Yeah. Adventist home?
Yes, yeah.
Brothers and sisters?
Yeah, 1 brother, 1 sister, so right in the middle.
So when you went to Southern, you didn't go too far afield.
No, just
you kind of stayed kind of close home. Yeah, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Seth.
Yes, sir.
Where are you from?
I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Grew up in Asheville, North Carolina.
That's what I hear. Okay. That Asheville, North Carolina thing is kind of slipping out on you.
Yeah.
Did you go to Southern also?
I did actually. Just graduated not that long ago.
Okay, now I feel better.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that now this guy's drinking or eating something really. He's supposed to be a vegetarian or something because he's looking really young.
That's right.
But you just got out of school, so that's quite all right. Adventist home.
Yes, I did.
And Michael Moss, where are you from?
Well, I'm a balance this thing out. I heard the West Coast and the South represented very heavily from the great city of Kansas City, Missouri, and the Midwest. So we're just going to balance that thing
All right,
out.
about 6 hours east of here, west of here rather. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Adventist home growing up?
Actually, I just trusted you. I apologize. I don't know if it's east or west, but I know Kansas City's in the middle of the map.
Okay.
just wanted to make that clear.
Trust me on this.
Absolutely. Okay. I know we're close.
Yeah. No, I need to ask all of you, good-looking, intelligent, smart guys, and I'll start with you, Jeff. When did the whole Jesus one-on-one relationship thing, because you can be born into an Adventist home, doesn't make you an Adventist, doesn't make you a Christian.
Right.
When did that occur to you as far as one-on-one relationship is?
Yeah, I actually went to I was raised in Loma Linda around Adventism, and I had rejected it and became an atheist, as a matter of fact. And my parents, during about the 8th grade, sent me off to a school called the Advent Home. Group home.
I know it.
Faith-based group home that really transformed my life. And somebody had asked me a question to come to a Bible study, and I was able to, I said, no, I don't actually believe in the Bible. And he said, why don't you believe in the Bible? And I remember thinking to myself, I don't really know why I don't believe in the Bible, but it was that seed of doubt that caused me to, go into the Word and learn more about Jesus. I read a book by Max Lucado called He Chose Nails that rocked my world about the sacrifice of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And broke my heart, man. And ever since then, I've just been wanting to share the hope of Jesus with the world.
Praise the Lord. Advent Home, I know that ministry very, very well. They've been here sometime in the past.
Yeah.
That's like boot camp, man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Adventist boot camp. But it changed my life, man.
Yeah, yeah. Taylor, same question for you.
Yeah, so I grew up in a good Christian home, Adventist home, and amazing family. But for me, it wasn't a real experience until high school. So I knew the stories, I knew all of the different lessons and values, but it didn't become real until I started seeing it in action. So doing evangelism actually is what brought it to life for me. So going out and doing Bible studies with people, going door to door, selling books, Christian books.
Ooh, okay.
And it started to come alive, where you saw the gospel not only in my life, but in the lives of the people that we were reaching out to. And that's where it really started to hit. And it went from a fairy tale to a personal history that is now still impacting me.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Seth, Mr. Asheville, North Carolina, Adventist home.
Yeah, Adventist home from a young age. Thought my life was pretty normal until about the age of 16, and then tragedy struck my family. My father took his life, and I just didn't know where to turn. So I started going to school at Southern Adventist University. This was a number of years after it happened. It was actually in 2008. And by this time, I was just really questioning, okay, I believe in God. I know He's there, but what part does He have to play in my life? So I started to dabble into all kinds of things. I did some drugs. I did some of the witchcraft stuff. Nothing too deep and dark, but even when you touch those kind of things, it tends to mar your character to a great extent. So long story short, after a number of years at Southern, I decided that God wanted me to go be a student missionary through some miraculous events. So I went overseas to live in the Philippines for a year, and in living there, I found out something very important, that you can't run from your sins, let alone your addictions, because they followed me 6,000 plus miles across the world, and I realized, wow, I really have nowhere to go. And I found myself in some pretty dark and disgusting situations with just feeding on my addictions and in hiding to such a point to where I took a step back one day and looked at myself and realized, if I keep doing this, I'm going to die. Like, it's killing me every way that I know. So after spending more time in the Philippines, I got on my knees and I prayed, Lord, if you want to change my life, I give it to you now. I can't change anything, but I need you. So that kind of put forward the first steps to God really becoming my own personal Savior. After talking with Him, actually getting to get on my knees and pray and feeling like I was having a conversation rather than just rattling off a list of, God, here's your to-do list for the next month.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well said. Yeah. Well said. You look at a first good-looking young guy, you never know what's behind all that stuff. Glad you are where you are, man. We're going to talk about sweat in a bit. Michael, give me some history, man. When did this thing become real for you?
Well, first off, wow, that's awesome, Seth. Thanks for allowing me to go behind that.
It's not a contest.
It's not a contest at all. But honestly, Adventism in my Christian walk, I feel like it's always been real from just acknowledging just how hard I've seen my parents go. They weren't born into the Adventist faith, so their conviction into that, they're very strong about it. Seeing different preachers or pastors that I grew up under and seeing their relationship, I was very impressed. But it didn't become personal for me until probably about 2009. I think when I first actually started learning, maybe a little bit earlier than that, when I started learning about the sanctuary message. We were talking about this on the ride over here, and when you just get into the details of seeing how specific God was in terms of everything he wanted to go through in order to sacrifice his life for me. It wasn't just a sacrifice, which was enough. It was the fact that everything was planned out to a T to do it for somebody so undeserving as myself. A lot of things that I feel like I compromise or want to argue whether or not it's worth giving up or if I should hold on to, it's just not worth it at the point. Once you realize how much someone means to you, or you mean to someone, you want to go ahead and reciprocate that. So, so for me, it became real at that point. And then I was like, if me giving this up, or if me just living for you really makes you happy, then you know what, it's you worth it. You know what I'm saying? Not whether it's worth it, but you are. You know, so yeah, I'll drop the things that seem to appear to be meaningful here if it's in comparison to you. And so I think that's when it became real for myself. And ever since then, I've been excited about it.
Well said. Everybody's got to ask the question and answer the question at some point in the Christian walk, how much is Christ worth to me?
Right.
He's answered the question, you are worth his life. Now you've got to reciprocate, how much is he worth for me? And then once you answer that question, you're free to advance. But as long as you put that answer off, you never will grow. You got to, if he's worth all, then you give him all. Now, before we go to our music, got to find out who's married here. I know, Jeff, you are. Taylor, no.
No.
Seth, no.
Yeah, I'm married.
Oh, you are married?
I'm married, fresh.
That's ridiculous.
It's only been a month and a half. So.
Oh, okay, newly married guy. Well, praise God. Michael, no.
Absolutely.
Okay, so 2 yes, 2 no's. We got 2 guys. Where's my camera? We got 2 guys that we need to get married off. These are entrepreneurial guys, and they're spiritual guys. I like these guys. So we'll give you some contact information a little bit. But praise the Lord. I'm having a little fun with you because I like what you're doing. You know, this is a good ministry. We're going to get into this. We want to go to our music just now. Then we're going to really mine this ministry and talk about some of the things that are happening. Our music is coming from the Birchfield brothers. This is John and Benji, 2 consummate musicians, and they're going to be playing There Is a Quiet Place. Well done, the virtual brothers. I am in the company of Jeff, I'll get this right, Tatarchuk.
Nailed it.
Praise the Lord. Taylor Paris, fairly easy. Seth Hill, real easy. Michael Moss, very easy. Okay, once you get past the Tatarchuk, it's like a
all downhill from there, man.
Let's talk about this, because you guys met undergrad,
right.
And then I'll come to Seth and Mike a little bit later. But Fruition, where did the name come from, and what do you seek to do? Let's lay it out there.
Well, Fruition was born out of a desire to help. You know, I took theology in undergrad, but even while we were in undergrad, we were starting little businesses. We had started a couple of ministries while we were there, and I liked the idea of making ideas a reality. And so that stayed with me all the way through, and I got to the seminary, and I started a thrift shop. You know, there was one thrift shop in town. It was only open 2 days a week. I said, I'm going to open one that's going to be open 5 days and see what happens. And did that. I had a seminary friend of mine come up to me and ask, hey, can you help me start a business? I want to start a wedding company. I said, sure. And within a few hours, we had his business up online. And by the end of the week, he was getting calls. And by the end of the month, he was getting deposits for his business before he had any equipment, before he had anything. And he said, man, I'd love to give you a percentage of the profits of my business because you helped me get over that first hurdle. And I said, listen, I know how hard it is to start a business. You keep your money, and I will find more joy in seeing you succeed than in any money you can give me. And I remember thinking to myself, going back, you know, living on a seminary stipend at the time.
Yes.
Thinking to myself, like, man, I just gave up on some potential money. I don't know if he's going to succeed or not, but I gave up on it. Why did I do it? And the word fruition is the word that came to mind. And I Googled it, happened to have my laptop in front of me, and the first thing means to bring something to completion, but the secondary term means a sense of enjoyment. And, you know, you pressed more on the bottom, and it expanded, and it went into the Latin of the word literally means to enjoy. And so I think there is a beauty in the process of seeing a thought, an immaterial thought, become a sustainable reality. And I think that's something that God wants all of us to experience, is to experience thoughts becoming a reality. And so I found joy in walking people through that process. And so I said, hey, I know there's other people out there that have great ideas. Let's grab all of the other entrepreneurs together that I could think of, and let's make great things happen. And so that's kind of how Fruition Lab came together. Taylor and I had worked on some stuff in undergrad, and we said, man, let's rally the troops. And
now, Taylor, were you at Andrews at the time, or this is kind of like a phone, email kind of thing?
Yeah, just phone, email, and I was in Orlando, Florida, so we decided, you know, something we wanted to connect on, so we started doing it.
Now, what were you doing once you left school?
So once I left, I spent some time in Ethiopia at a hospital there working, and then I came back and worked in healthcare finance in Florida for Florida Hospital.
Florida Hospital, yeah.
So,
your undergrad degree is in?
accounting.
In accounting.
Yep.
Good guy to have around.
Money guy. Money guy.
So obviously you were so invested in this thought that you left your track as far as pulpit evangelism is concerned, and really devoted your full time.
Well, I stayed in seminary. I stayed in seminary with the hope to, hey, let's restoke the flame of entrepreneurship again in this church. You know, I feel like God, being the very first entrepreneur who took the thought of, you know, taking the world that was without form and void and bringing form out of chaos, which is what an entrepreneur does. They see a problem and they bring something out of it, bring something good out of it, which is what God did. And then he had another thought. He said, man, I want to make man in our image. And he took that thought, literally came down and took the resources that he already had created and spoken to existence. He took those resources that he had at his disposal, fashioned man, and then breathed his life into that thing, which is the definition of an entrepreneur, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, so not only did he give that ability, but not only did he create, but he created us with the ability to create.
Yeah.
And that's something that I wanted to continue to re-inspire. So I stayed in seminary. You know, I consider myself an entrepreneurial evangelist. Like I will always be an evangelist.
I received that.
I will always be an evangelist, but through enterprise, I found was able to make a greater impact outside the walls of the Ford Church.
Praise the Lord. First of all, I think that's a unique way to look at it.
Yeah.
But also that you invest so much in, because ministry is where you find there's pulpit ministry, but there's a million other ways to minister.
Right.
And when you have a business, as is the motto of ASI, it does give you a platform from which to minister.
That's right.
You know, so if we were to say in a word, Fruition Ministries is a ministry that mentors.
Yeah, connects, educates, and inspires impact-driven entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs, okay. So you're looking to help young people that have an idea and want to put some legs on that idea, see it get up and walk.
That's right.
Okay, now you've tested this out, you field tested this because you went to, and I've been to Barron Springs, I've been to Barron Springs, there's not that much there besides Apple Valley Market and Andrews University.
That's right.
So you started a thrift store.
That's right.
Something needed.
Yep.
Was it a success?
It was, but my business partner had a brain aneurysm. About a year into it, we weren't able to keep it open, shut down. I felt like a failure, gained a lot of weight, needed to do something. And my friend introduced me to the burpee, which is the fitness term for falling down and getting back up again. And so,
come on, Jeff.
We were able to,
brother, you better speak that.
So
thing.
we were able to literally take this this fitness opportunity and turn our thrift store, which I still had a lease for the next 2 years, from a thrift store into what was then a CrossFit gym, which we've been able to grow and expand.
Same facility.
Same facility.
Just changed it.
Just changed it. We were able to pivot, man, and it's been an impact in the community. There's no gym within 10 miles of the area, other than what's at the school itself. And we were sustainable the very first day we opened, which rocked my world, man. It was exciting to see and be a part of that.
Yeah, you know, the idea, and when we were talking off camera, the same thing. You see a niche and you fill it.
That's right.
And therein is certainly the foundation for success. You've got a community of health conscious people.
Right.
You know, when you think Adventist, you think health.
Right.
People running on the street doing all the kinds of things. No gym.
That's right.
Could there be a better fit for that community, for any Adventist community, than a gym?
Yeah,
so you fulfill that need.
Yep, and there's not a lot to do in the winter.
Right.
In Barron Springs.
Yeah.
And we needed a warm place to stay active.
Precisely.
So the gym worked out great.
because winter is winter in Barron Springs.
And it ain't going anywhere anytime
no joke,
soon.
no sir. It is. So that was successful.
We've been doing it for the last 4 years and have, we were able to buy our building, grow, triple our size. And
wow.
It's been a huge blessing to myself and my wife as well, who joined the team. And
In the meanwhile, you sold that.
Yep.
And you're on to the next challenge.
On to the next one, man.
Bless your heart.
Yes, sir.
Now, here's what I like, and here's what I wanted to move to Seth and Michael. You have this idea now. You know it works because you've seen it work in several places, and work well and work quickly. So now you want to turn this into a ministry where you can begin to mentor other young people and stoke their entrepreneurial fires. How do you go from, I've seen it work with my friend group around me at Andrews, to making it more of a national thing and getting guys like Seth and Michael on board?
Yeah, so one thing that we're really blessed to do is we had a conference. We have an annual conference every year, so building a network of people, because it really is in the network of people that are out there that can help each other, And one thing that we're really passionate about is what can you give, not what can you get. So there's so many people that have experiences that they want to give back, and so we're providing a platform for people to do that. In addition, we're working to develop an online resource where people can go and develop ideas and be able to connect and learn and grow, so they can take their idea from just an idea to where they can actually launch it and do something meaningful.
So you're reaching out in training and mentoring other young people who want to do this.
Exactly, and one of the things we found is that an entrepreneur is a problem solver, and at any stage of the entrepreneurial journey, doesn't matter if you're just starting out, you just have an idea, you're curious about entrepreneurship, or you've had an acquisition, you've sold your business and you're in retirement, everybody's faced with an obstacle. And we at Fruition want to help people overcome those obstacles to achieve a greater success in their life, business, and ministry.
And kind of to add to that, the opportunity is really on the impact side. So Jeff was talking about creativity and how God implanted creativity inside all of us, but also, we have a desire as Christians to give and be an impact in society. You look at history with the Waldenses, where they said, they would have been spurned as missionaries, but welcomed as merchants. And the opportunity as Christians to use enterprise to impact society is right now one of the largest opportunities available. And at the point we are at, the opportunity to be involved in enterprise and impact society is a place where it hasn't been before. So to be able to do that, we feel is just a sublime opportunity.
Very, very cool. Yeah, that's pretty right brain stuff coming from an accountant. Well said. We appreciate that. Now, Seth and Michael, you actually do get to talk. And I want to move to you guys because obviously you connected. How did you find out about Fruition, Seth?
I found out about Fruition actually through one of my kind of side contracting jobs through the Adventist Review. I was working doing some advertising stuff, and Jared Thurman, who is a big marketing liaison and guy there, yeah, he told me about Jeff and that they were having an event for entrepreneurs, specifically Adventists, to kind of bring them in so that we could, you know, network, then they can inspire us and we can learn how to take our idea and make it into something. So that's how I heard about it, and I talked to Jeff and Taylor, and they told me about a pitch event that they were going to be having, where essentially you bring your business idea to some panelists, and there's investors on that panel, and they may or may not choose to invest in you.
Oh, kind of a Shark Tank.
Yeah, so it's essentially exactly like Shark Tank.
But better.
Yeah.
Oh, but better.
Yeah.
But and again, you're mentoring or you're networking people with money, with people with ideas.
Yeah.
And of course at that confluence, then you've got something worth. So that's how you kind of got started.
Yeah.
Okay. And your idea was for Sway. Did you present Sway to them at that time?
I did. I presented Sway. So yeah, we do insulated hammocks. That's what that is.
Insulated hammock?
Fully insulated,
Okay,
just
you
like
gotta
a
walk me
sleeping
through
bag
that.
between two trees.
Oh, whoa.
Game changer.
Sign me up.
Insulated hammock.
Yeah, so it's a fully insulated hammock. So the idea actually came right
the
before.
Sway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
an action word,
Yeah,
so you
then-
know the sway. So the actual idea, the what is sway. So I found out that, you know, while going camping with a regular hammock and taking it outside, even during the summer months, because of the wind going underneath you and over top of you, you have that bridge ices before the road effect where you get really cold.
Yeah.
So I had that idea and I went to the Philippines with it. And then after being in the Philippines for a year, I had my why. And that was my buddy and I starting a nonprofit organization for doing work in the Philippines. And then I realized, okay, now I have a what, I have the enterprise, and I have the why. And then when I heard about Fruition, I was like, oh, well, that's the perfect place to go because I can connect with like-minded people. They can be inspired by what I'm doing, and I can be inspired by what they're doing, and just kind of the networking and building it from there.
Wow. Interesting. Very, very good. So was your idea accepted?
It was really accepted. I got really good encouragement. I actually got my first initial set of pre-orders, Taylor being the #1 first pre-order. So that, you know, that gave me a lot of confidence because it was at that point that it wasn't just the product people believed in, but I realized that they believe in the story. And that's what I think is so great about Fruition Lab is that they bring you into a space where you're able to really connect your why with your what, your story with the idea, your purpose with the business plan, and then kind of move it forward from there.
And that was how long ago?
Fruition or?
When you made that connection with Fruition?
Yeah, that was just almost a year ago.
Okay, so this is happening in real time kind of rapidly.
Oh yeah, it's, I'm very busy every day.
Good deal, good deal. So things are going good, you're moving forward?
They are going really well. We just completed our first business acquisition. In the middle of it, I'll finish it tomorrow actually, with another guy who's been in the industry for a while, Stephen Webb, awesome guy. And yeah, so it's going well. We've got our pre-orders. We're starting to take more orders. We're making our first batch of 60 hammocks, and we plan to keep moving forward.
It must be going well. You are solvent enough to take unto yourself a wife, so it's pretty good. And praise the Lord for it.
Didn't someone just order one for you, and you have found out that it was sold out from him? You encouraged him to grab one, and he was like, "Oh, bro, I think this is sold out." He was like, "It is."
Get them while you can.
Yeah, I had to check that.
We found that out together, too, so it's moving a lot more rapidly than we
Yeah. Coming to you, Michael. Jeff, it must be fairly satisfying and make you feel good to know that the principles that you and Taylor put together are actually beginning to give birth now. You're beginning to see a downstream to what you started.
Absolutely. That's why even the thought of, you know, we don't consider them our mentees. Entrepreneurs, we're all in this thing together.
Yeah.
This whole process. There's nobody above anybody else, but we get each other. We know that there's certain things that have to take place in order to make something successful.
Yeah.
And I think being around like-minded people gives you the confidence and the encouragement to push through the obstacles that you're going to face. And so, yeah, it's absolutely rewarding.
Good deal, good deal, good deal. Michael, Pain for purpose.
Absolutely.
First, how did you get connected with Fruition?
So starting out with Fruition, word of mouth. Family loyalty is big to me, and Taylor is best friends with my youngest brother, Marshall. And Marshall spoke his name. He's like, Taylor's coming up with something. He's really big. We need you to put the word of mouth behind him. He knows I'm a very passionate person. He knows if I put something out, individuals are going to want to know what I'm talking about. I'm very passionate, and I'm very, very, what's the word when you're energetic and things of something.
Influential.
Okay.
People listen.
Okay.
Yeah. How about energetic?
Okay, energetic works. Okay.
All of the above.
People know if I'm excited about something, it's for a reason. So when Marshall told me about this, out of loyalty alone, I was like, okay, well, we'll give it a shot. I had no idea what I was walking into, but I felt like it deserved an opportunity simply off of the fact that it meant something to someone that I cared about.
Okay.
And so, as a result of coming into it, and this is where my excitement grows, is because I'm walking into this blind with no expectations. You know, I took a week off of work, and I flew out there to just check it out and see, just to let him know, I believe in you, and I'm here for you, just to be a part.
Now, where was this? Where was it? You say flew out there. Where did you go?
I went out to Arizona. Was it Scottsdale?
Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix. It was Phoenix. So we flew out to Phoenix, and I'm telling you, I went out there expecting to be a blessing. Like, I wanted to be of service to Taylor. Had no idea that this would be so life-changing for me. And this is when everything clicked.
Okay, walk me through what happened at the meeting.
So I walk into, first of all, instantly the energy when you first get there. For me, being a motivational speaker, my personality instantly is all about energy. So when I come out, I can have a good time with individuals who don't have the same energy as me, but I'll have to do more work. You see what I'm saying? When people match that and when they introduce that, it sets a standard for what to expect.
And it tends to feed off itself, too.
And before we could even walk into the building, there were people outside looking for us to greet us with excitement. I'm not talking about the opening day when we started. They were just looking for us to let us know where everything was going on, where we'll be going. But when you have that type of excitement starting out, your attitude starts changing, the way that you look at it. What am I walking into? What am I about to experience? Why is everyone else excited? Should I be excited already? What am I about to encounter? And in that moment is when I start preparing myself subliminally for what I didn't even realize was going to happen. And so once we finally went in there, besides the fact that my father was able to come, one of my best friends, James Brandon, was able to join us. My little brother Marshall was there. I had so many familiar faces that I was able to partake in this life-changing experience with me. It blew my mind.
Now let me walk you through what about this was life-changing.
Which part? Okay, we'll start somewhere. So, walking in, seeing individuals that I admired, seeing individuals passionately talk about what they were gifted at, that spoke to my passion and my purpose and my dream, seeing them speak on things and having such an opportunity to be in association with them without someone standing there, oh, hey, I know Michael, you can have a conversation with him because you know me, type of thing. Like, just the fact that we were at Fruition gave me a platform to be able to speak to them eye to eye without me having to feel or explain myself of why I deserved a conversation or why I was begging for a moment of their time, type of thing.
I hear.
And it's an amazing thing. Just like he shunned away the mentee type thing. He said we're all on the same level. I'm privileged to be a mentee, if that's what you want to call me to this, because I learned so much from these individuals.
So but there's a synergy going on.
I
got to move you on because I want to get to this pain for purpose.
Pain for purpose.
What is it? Where did that title come from, and what are you seeking to do?
Pain for purpose is my life, number one. It's my motivation. In encouraging individuals, I never understood. Me even choosing to do motivational speaking, being passionate about this, is not because I thought that this was a great profession, it's because I never understood how many individuals don't see the good that I see in them. I see so much in individuals, and it excites me for them to see it, just kind of, I guess, like fruition. And what happens is that when I tell them about it, I never realized the surprise it takes on individuals. And I'm like, why is this new to you? Do you not know what you're capable of and what I see in you? And once I realized how many individuals out there didn't see it, it became a passionate thing for me. So Pain for Purpose for me originated probably in college. You know, I really struggled with school very, very, very hard. And for me, a lot of things naturally came easy for me. And people gravitated to my personality, which was something that was extremely normal for me. But a lot of people enjoy hearing someone who can, I guess, rock the crowd or have individuals laughing at the tip of a word or a comment or statement. And for me, it was normal. So I would do that in a group of 2 or 3 people. But when the big crowds do it, they think that it's something special with you, but it was something normal.
I see.
So I started accepting what people consider great that was extremely average for myself. And so I never had anyone set a higher standard for me because everybody accepted my good as great, you know? And so what was ordinary for me was extraordinary to other individuals,
so
and they celebrated.
You're saying you had a gift for this. God had given you a special
I had a gift for that.
Correct.
And so what happens is that when I finally faced something that was out of my comfort zone, which was naturally maybe school, or I didn't realize how to go about searching for answers or for help. And so instead of seeking help, my discomfort made me feel like internalized that I had already failed, even before I had naturally failed. And so what I would do, instead of failing it and seeing myself fail, I would drop out. I would quit. I would pay all this money and I would do it. And before I would drop the class, I would drop the class, and to the point to where I could feel that I was behind in school, but I didn't even want to log and check it out. You know, I didn't even want to see how far behind I was. So 4 years turned to 6 years, 6 years turned to 7 years. And I'm just like, okay, this is getting expensive. You know what I'm saying? This is an expensive mistake. You come home every year and everybody's like, hey, Mike, you got a brother. He was behind you, but I think he's graduating this year. What are you doing? And I'm just like, I'm going back. That's what I'm doing. I'm going back. And what my mom always instilled in me, she was like, don't you ever give up. Don't you ever stop trying. And it meant a lot to me because one thing I realized is that individuals are like, well, what are you going to go back to school and do? So I'm going to go back to school and try, you know? I'm going to go back to school and try. What happens is that if I give up after this mark, what do I have to show for it? All I have is that quit. If I keep going, eventually, even as crazy as it may look to you, eventually I'm going to find a way to finish because I never gave up. And that pain, which was uncomfortable for me, I knew could be worked toward an ultimate purpose. And so the relation that it has to everyone else is that no matter what walk of life that you come from, no matter where you are, everybody goes through something that's uncomfortable. And if you can take that in everybody in life, pain is the one thing that's inevitable. We all have to go through that. Not everybody can choose to be happy in life, but everybody has to go through pain. Even Christ's journey was pain for purpose, you know? And he did it intentionally. He accepted pain to go for our ultimate purpose, which is salvation, you know? So for me, instead of just being knocked over by the pain, I heard a quote that said, everybody in life is either walking into a storm, in the midst of a storm, or coming out of one. So there's pain, you know? Storm is pain. And if we can start to brace ourselves for the pain that will come and get excited about the process that it can transform us into, then we can use that pain ultimately for a purpose.
So there is a purpose in all pain.
Always a purpose for pain.
And what you get out of it is how you address it and redress it.
Exactly.
You know, I tell people, and I want to come back to you, to Jeff and Taylor in just a moment, you know, people are impressed with people with doctorate degrees. You don't really have to be that smart to get a PhD. You do have to be focused. You just got to stay with it. If you give them enough money and stay with it long enough, they'll give you a degree. Because they don't want people in queue. You know, they want to get you through the system. We got all these doctoral students, we can't graduate them. Something wrong with that. So if you just stick with it, give enough cash, they'll give you your degree. So you don't have to be a genius, but you do have to be focused.
Absolutely.
And stay with it. And I think that is a recipe for success in life. You don't necessarily have to be a genius, but you do have to be focused. You got to kind of see your goal, see your purpose, stay focused on your purpose, and you get what you want. Tell me about these conferences that you have. Are they in, and thank you, Michael,
Absolutely.
for that. Are they in cooperation with ASI? Because I know you're recognized by ASI.
Right.
Do you have it around ASI time? Do you walk me through that?
Yeah, well, we really support and appreciate the work that they've done to rally together Adventist business leaders, you know, ever since E.A. Sutherland bringing this together. And so we want to continue to provide support to that and them to us as well. So yeah, we're working in conjunction with them for this year. And we're excited about being able to grow and expand this thing all over the world.
You brought a couple trophies with you. And forgive me, gentlemen, for referring to you as trophies.
None taken.
Said not needed. Thank you.
Just polish the trophy.
Embrace your trophy.
Right.
You know. But tell me the kind of response you're getting across the board.
Yeah, well, I mean, since the first one, we had no idea what to expect because this is the first of its kind. It never happened within the Adventist context, at least from the startup perspective.
Yes.
And it exceeded our expectations. We didn't know what was going to happen, but from the speakers who were there to the attendees to the people who were a part of it, yeah, it was really exciting. We had the universities around. We did some follow-up one-days at Andrews. We did one at Pacific Union College, and we have some coming up at other universities that people just want to see this thing happen all over. And then we have guys in Ghana, India, Australia, all over the world who want to see this thing continue to grow because it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, where you're from, your religion. You can be a problem solver. You can be an entrepreneur. And we want to rally together to help people make those great ideas a reality. You know, when I see Seth and Mike, you know, you might see Sway Hammocks, you might see Pain for a Purpose, but these are the people behind the products. Even you think of this chair in front of me, like there's a person behind making this chair a reality. When you think of 3ABN, there's a person behind that, and what we want to do is continue to support the people who are making those products and making the change in the world a reality. So we're excited to continue to grow the network, to expand, to bring everybody into this thing. It's an inclusive conversation from the whole spectrum. Those who are curious about entrepreneurship, those that are in the thick of it, and those who have, what we say, quote unquote, you made it. But everybody can be a part of that conversation. That's what we're excited about.
Okay, two things come to mind to question you on. Are your meetings held in conjunction with ASI meetings? Are they separate? Are they at a given time during the year? I'm a person sitting at home watching. I've got some ideas in my mind. How do I connect? And when would I have an opportunity to do what Seth and Michael have?
Yeah, well, the best way to do it is to go to our website, fruitionlab.org, and give us your information, and we'll keep you in the loop as to the events that are going on. Yes, we're doing this one with ASI this year, but we're going even beyond ASI with our current vision for where we want to see Fruition go.
Excellent, excellent. Now, you did mention you're doing the college campus circuit. Yeah, that is fabulous.
And one of the things we found is that students that are at school, very few people are like Seth, who are in the midst of school and able to create a product while they're in school. Very few, handful. You know, most students that are in school, they're in the thick of it. They have classes, 5 or 6 classes. They're stacking up with student debt. I call them the zombies. They're in the zombie mode from when they freshman year until whenever they graduate.
That's true. But
we found that the most receptive are actually high school and academy students. They're the most creative. They're the most in tune with the market, and they have the least amount to lose. And so we've done some stuff at academies and high schools, and just getting students fired up. They're ready to do it.
So they're getting it at that age.
And so get it before them. Give them exposure to it, the marketing, the business strategy, the team building opportunities. Get it early on, and then afterwards, those that graduated with a degree, like, man, this wasn't what I was thinking it was going to be, and have an idea that they want to start. And I mean, it's the whole gamut, but it's kind of where we're currently at with it.
Yeah. Seth, did I ask you what your undergrad degree was?
So I did my associates in construction management and my bachelor's in business management entrepreneurship. And I did the SALT program. Which is it's written School of Evangelism.
So the time in the Philippines was some missionary time that you took off?
Yeah, I took 12 credit hours while I was over there to keep my loans in check. But yeah, let me tell you. So I did that.
Guy, you know,
So then that would have been my junior year. So it was 2 years Southern, 1 year overseas, and then 3 years back, and now I'm done.
Where is your product actually made?
So I'm making it with myself and Stephen Webb, who is our manufacturing specialist and design specialist. So we're being made in the United States right now. We're working with plans to have them made overseas as well. I have a Chinese investor who's given me plans to do that, and we're in the middle of international patent process. So we'll see where the Lord leads. I mean, the scope of ideas goes even wider than that. I have contacts that are in Malawi right now who are looking at the market to see what kind of products that we could possibly make there for a trade school. I forget the name of the specific trade school, but they want to open up a sewing establishment, and it would be a great way if they could make some just more basic forms of hammocks as a way to help the students pay for their schooling, and also people eat that up when you bring it back to the States because you're helping somebody else. So we have connections there and all over.
Yeah. Michael, coming to you, as a motivational speaker, are most folk buying into the understanding that pain may not be something to be shunned, but something to use as a foundation for your own growth and your own self sort of actualization? I
would say yes, but also it needs to be reminded daily. You know, like Les Brown says, he recommends showering daily. You know, it definitely cleans you, but you don't get cleaned one time forever. You know? It's the same process, and actually the humbling thing about it is that I use the same thing with myself. Pain for Purpose was actually intended for me, for my life, to help me push through difficulties that I was having, and realize that in encouraging myself publicly and being vulnerable and transparent, that it was encouraging someone else. So, so in doing that, I just keep speaking to myself, and I'm like, every day, Mike, you got this, and God got you. So, in the process of doing that, someone else is blessed by that, and I'm like, God, you're awesome, because this wasn't even for them. So the fact that they're excited about this, I'm just excited for me to have a chance at being closer to my purpose, and for somebody else to get something from that. It reminds me that God's plan is perfect. So.
Wow, powerful, powerful, powerful. I'm just very impressed that somebody is taking this on. As if we were to line you up with ASI, the difference between what ASI does, because ASI is an association, a group of people who ascribe to a certain way of prosecuting their business, their marketplace. What is the basic difference between what you're seeking to do and a more established group like ASI? Yeah,
we see ASI as, like you said, established business leaders that are looking to, number one, be a Christ in the marketplace, show Christ in the marketplace with where they're currently working, and two, pour back into ministries and nonprofits that are being supported all around the world. With Fruition, we see Fruition as pouring into the startup community, entrepreneurs, for-profit, nonprofit, product, doesn't matter who you are in the entrepreneurial journey. That's our specific contribution that we feel like that differentiates us, but we also find there's a lot of room for collaboration as well and support.
To the person that's out there who is thinking, turning things over in their mind, but they're paralyzed, they've got this, by fear. What is the biggest myth, did I say, about starting up a business that you'd like to bust just now, as far as difficulty or even getting your feet on the ground?
The biggest myth that I think is that conjunction, I can't. I think a lot of people, they see too many obstacles and they don't think it's possible to make their idea a reality. And I think that's the greatest myth. I think it's easier now to make your idea a reality than it's ever been. You have access to resources, to people, YouTube videos teaching you how to do stuff for free. Education isn't an obstacle anymore. Access to finances with Kickstarter, being able to fundraise your business to get to where you want to be and do what you want to do and live the dream that God has put on your heart. It's easier to do now than it's ever been. But that word "I can't" is anathema. Like if you believe that, you won't.
True.
But I think but being around a group of people who are dreamers, doers, believers, activators, impactors is something that helps you see something in yourself that you don't currently see, and it helps you push the ball forward. So yeah, I don't believe that lie that you can't. You might fail along the way, but fail forward and learn through the process. And I mean, only success will come.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I want to piggyback on what you just said. I know I'm just a trophy, but I do want to just, I do want to piggyback on what you said, because one of the biggest myths that I found, even with speaking on the way down here, is that it takes one person, you know, that you can do this alone. And one of the reasons why it's taken a lot of individuals a long time to start off, and even me personally, I feel like I haven't got as moving as quickly as I feel like I should have initially, is because I looked at people that I admired and I thought that they were doing it by themselves. And so I always saw something to myself, I was like, I can't do all this by myself, and I would overwhelmingly continue to give up or put it aside, thinking that it was just me, you know? And it wasn't until speaking with Jeff a few times, and I realized that it's never just you. And matter of fact, any intelligent married man will let you know that.
Oh, yeah.
Who's portion? It's not just me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things behind you. What they say, a great man has an even greater woman. You know what I'm saying, or a better woman. But even with the business, you have. I was just telling one of the ladies in the back. I was like, I found that some of the most remarkable people that I've ever met, no matter how much applause I get or how much celebration people give me for things that I may say in front of the camera, most of the most incredible people I've ever met are people that never step in front of the camera. Most talented people, most beautifully minded individuals are outside of that, and it's a collaboration of individuals putting together an idea, and we may be the face of it, but it's so many different individuals. So if somebody out there that wants to brew something or put something into fruition, you need a group of individuals to help that as well.
Well
and it's
said.
never just
well
one.
said. Chad, I want to come to you. Let me ask you a question. Which is the better teacher, success or failure?
Failure, probably. But success is more fun to have. I would say that, going back to kind of the comment before, is that the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago and today.
Yeah.
So, ideally you would have started something 20 years ago, but don't be afraid of that. Just start it today, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and not afraid of failure. Again, a marvelous ministry, one that deserves your prayers and support. We want to go to our address roll. Should you want to make contact with Fruition and hear what they have to say, maybe invite them or to learn from them, here is how you can do precisely that.
If you're a Christian entrepreneur who longs to hear from other experienced entrepreneurs, then Fruition Lab is for you. To find out more, visit their website, fruitionlab.org. There you will find excellent articles, amazing video clips of some of their speakers, and more information about their next global conference. That website again is fruitionlab.org. You may also write to them at 111 East Winter Park Street, Orlando, Florida 32804.
That's good information, and we are back. Jeff, I guess we'll pitch this to you. I know you have some needs, you're a growing ministry. Look into the camera and sort of give them your pitch, man, about what you're trying to do.
Well, we believe that entrepreneurship is really what will help solve a lot of the problems that we have in the world, and we need your help to do that. First off, if you are somebody that has an idea and wants to make that idea a reality, go to our website and submit that pitch on there. If you're looking at somebody looking to join a team, startup community to help make that thing a reality, join us on there. And third, if you're looking to invest in a company, go to our website as well. And if you have the resources and the experience to get behind making these guys a success, join our team. We're looking to grow our network. If you're an entrepreneur yourself or a founder or involved in a startup of somehow, we're looking as a casting call. If you're looking to make an impact, go to our fruitionlab.org. One of our biggest needs is a program that we're developing online to help people take their ideas and make them a sustainable reality. We're building out an online platform that currently doesn't exist online that will help people discover what their strengths are, as well as be able to build out their ideas so they have a plan and a roadmap moving forward to success. And so it's going to cost us about $150,000 to build this out, and we could use your help to donate to Fruition Lab, our nonprofit, which is a 501c3.
Amen. Something that Michael said, no one does it alone, everybody does it together, and we need each other. So, Jeff, Taylor, Seth, Michael, thank you so very much. Allow me in closing now to wish you both grace and peace through our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, and God bless.